Time is running out. They won the first series of the split against Dignitas, who hasn't beaten anyone, and Shopify has lost to everyone since then. My friend Kangas has returned. Welcome back, sir. I see you're still believing in
Are you ready?
your boys. Not
Are
as
you
ready?
ready?
As
I'm
you.
ready.
I'm not as ready as you.
I've always wanted to give somebody a stunner live on broadcast.
That was impressive, actually.
Also, sorry to Raz. I think I kicked you somewhere I didn't intend to. But point is,
where were you
people
aiming?
are disrespecting Shopify. Do you have DSG in your predictions, Jet?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
But we'll see. I think Shopify has been the weirdest team, and even going back to last year, Kangas, you and me talked about this, they're the most frustrating team for me to predict.
Yeah.
Because all the observable data says that you should predict against them, but then they kept making these runs in playoffs where they actually finished third in Split 2 and Split 3. So,
which is part of what baited a lot of folks, myself included, that, hey, if they get this new mid laner picked up, they can make deeper pushes, but three wins all year long.
They just do things differently. We just watched Ashe Seraphine come from nowhere and dominate. Karma's banned, DSG gets Ashe Seraphine. What's the answer? Lucian, Melio? Like, kind of.
Yeah.
We've seen Lucian take over a few games, but I feel like it just makes the game hard.
I mean, if you can get a lead with this, and even if you don't necessarily get the early lead, we've seen that the scaling of the Lucian Melio is real.
It's huge.
Once you get into the mid lane, you can just blow up these low mobility carries like Ashe, but it's that laning phase that's a little scary for me because of how oppressive Ashe Seraphine is and how much push they can get. And then you pair it with the Vi, which you always want the bruiser jungler, somebody that's going to go in and kind of set up the Seraphine to follow up that engage and then keep them alive.
I don't love Vi into Melio because the Melio is a great counter-engaged champion, and Vi has kind of the only option is to all in. I like the Shen ban, though, from Ido, just in case Contracts wanted to play the jungle Shen like Griffin has been doing as an answer into the Vi.
Yeah.
I feel like also your adrenaline is so high.
I'm
wondering how long. Like, are we doing
right
the whole series like this?
I don't think so.
Okay, we're gonna go back to normal.
I think well, you know what? We'll see. If Shopify start winning, it's probably
It's
going
all in.
It's coming right back. Also, every time I do a bit like that, I'm reminded I need to do more cardio. I gotta get that
because you ran all the way.
Ran all the way here
from the lounge.
Almost broke Raz's glasses. Somehow they teleported under my feet after I ran away. Hopefully he's found them. You know, I'm sure somebody's handed them to him. Olaf, the hover right now, is Cassandre was locked in for DSG, and it is going to be Olaf. Okay.
So very likely Olaf jungle for Contracts, unless they wanted to flex it mid lane, but that would be super rare.
Could you imagine?
Zinni's Annie has looked good if they decide to lock this in when he's played it. He has to blind pick here. Calmy's going to be able to get counter pick.
Zinni did have that legendary 5-champ ultimate in his first series back here in Spring Split. So I agree, it's one that he has looked good on, but when I look at this team composition, Jat, I am not seeing a late game scaling comp. I am seeing a Shopify Rebellion that kind of wants to win early and keep snowballing that, because when you have Olaf and Annie, they just have so much power as soon as they hit level 6.
Yeah, you really want Olaf to be able to capitalize on the hard engage of Annie. And there's a lot to... I mean, Cassio is so good against Olaf, and if you can get a little bit of MR, I feel like you can get above the burst thresholds for Annie, so I actually really like the Cassio pick here to go with the Ashe Seraphine Cassandra. The only thing that doesn't fit in the DSG comp to me actually is the Vi. Otherwise, they'd have this really nice front-to-back team fighting.
So what are the reasons you like the Cass into the Olaf, though? Because when I think of Olaf, I think CC immune, he can run you down. Cass can't really stop that. Is it just that she out-DPSs him in those prolonged fights?
Yeah, I think the Cassiopeia into Olaf or into Annie. Again, I cut out for a second there.
Into Olaf.
Into Olaf. Yeah. I mean, partially it's because you're forcing Olaf to ult just to get to you, because you can usually either kite him with just QE move speed or just throw out the miasma to slow him down. And then when he does ult, oftentimes by the time he gets to you, you've already pumped out a large amount of damage, and you're kind of a bruiser yourself. So I think Cassio is just pretty good at kiting Olaf, and also is the type of sustained damage you need to kill an Olaf when he's in a fight.
Well, let's see if Disguise is able to pull that off. If they win this series, locks for playoffs. If Shopify 2-0, they lock themselves. If it's a 2-1 for Shopify, we can get into one of those 3-way tiebreaker scenarios, but we'll talk about that more depending on what happens in tomorrow's series, of course. Point is, both of these teams have some of their destiny in their own hands. Depending on how they perform here today, Shopify with, I feel like a very Shopify draft, if we want to put it that way, and Disguise with the counters. Push in the bot lane and a counter pick mid lane. Let's see if it gets them across the finish line.
And I also got to say, as there's actually a quick 3-man rush into the bot here, trying to play quick around the Lucian Melio.
They only see the B-Boy. They did not see that Zinni went down there as well, but you already have to start leaving if you want to get to that mid lane.
He's going to be late if he's still there. He's already gone.
Yeah.
So they were really hoping that Lions and Sajed would really hard contest that early brush, but they decided not to.
He's going to be spotted now on this Raptor, so let's see what Calmy does with the lane. We don't have the same... Oh, no. Why are we showing this again? Yeah. The power ranking fiasco that was lock-in tournament had them first, and this year they're 3-16. A disaster of a performance over the year compared to where I know I wasn't alone. A lot of people had them more like 4th to 5th at the high end of their rankings, but I don't think many people had them this far down.
The great thing, though, Kangas, about League of Legends is usually if you never lose another game, you can win the World Championship. So there's always a way out.
That's where you're at.
There's always a way out.
Like
they 2-0 this, they're in playoffs, they win all their playoff series, they're going to MSI.
Let's start with winning MSI. I think that's where they have to really put their heads at right now, if the goal is Worlds. Level 2 hit by Sajed and Lions in the bot lane, as this is expected with the Ashe Seraphine. I think that the Lucian Melio is going to need a lot of help to really start winning in the pure 2v2 matchup, unless they just start purely out-handsing their opponents. Junglers pathing on opposite sides, though. Contracts is heading towards the bottom camps. Meanwhile, Kryra heading towards the top.
For sure. And to talk a little bit more about DSG, it is kind of wild what has happened to their perception throughout the split, because they open up by beating Sentinels. Perception is high.
Yep.
Then they get swept 4 series in a row and lose Castle, their best performing player, to LYON. But because Surdy came in last week and played so well, they're kind of just back.
Yep.
They're just back to just totally fine again.
If you look at Surdy's stats, purely from the 2 games that they've played, you know, absolutely crazy. I think Berserker might still be ahead of him in gold diff at 15. He's like the only player right now. But
and early on, it's Cassante into Rumble, which is a pushing winning matchup for Rumble.
True.
He's doing decently on Cassante. Also gone with the new Doran's Helm, which is just a made for Cassante item because of the armor and MR that it gives him, and Cassante just wants to collect armor and MR items.
Scales pretty well, even as an early game item, as Sajed lost his support back up for a moment there. Lions went for an early reset and is now back into the lane, but the wave is pushing back in, but this gives a small window where B-Boy and Seos fancy themselves a fight. Big chunk onto Lions. That's heal out of Disguised support.
That'll be nice for Seos and B-Boy to be able to play aggressively. They also have Olaf in the bot river, but Kryra going for something early on to Fudge.
Available. Flash from Fudge. Nice enough. The third Intopo strike will pull him back, but he's into safety. Now, Contract's actually looking at the bottom side. Lions never went for the reset. So he's about 3/4 health. They can get this big wave to crash. Shopify could look for the dive.
Pretty healthy. This is a big overstay here by Contracts.
I think they have to
go
pull
for
the
it.
trigger at this point. They don't have a lot of CC, so let's see who
heal.
takes it up first. Looks like it's going to be Seos, and that's first blood to B-Boy. Clean dive for Shopify Rebellion.
Really nicely done. Huge amounts of damage since it was a heal-less Lions. And then Seos correctly took the turret aggro, was the one who does the least damage, able to flash out at the end. Would have been nicer, obviously, to get the kill onto Sajed, because then you're denying the huge wave, but that was never the target they'd be able to dive with him with barriers. So good job collecting that first blood. Hurts Contracts his jungle tempo just a little bit, but he's back with the double longsword. Good to go.
And the whole wave was still under turret, so Sajed has to stay, catch that wave under turret, and that is now reset. So it's about a wave and a half advantage alongside the first blood gold for B-Boy. The pickaxe buyback. Much stronger early start here for Shopify Rebellion in the bottom lane, as Seos will now go mid lane, help out Zinni, drops down the Cozy Campfire, and will just help out his mid laner, stay in lane for a little longer.
Yeah, I need to correct myself, actually, when I was saying that was an overstay. That was not an overstay for Contracts. He actually full cleared based, got double longsword, then did the crab into the invade. So his tempo is completely fine with that gank, especially once Vi showed herself top lane with that gank. So really well done by Contracts there to get the first blood. Something Shopify hasn't had many of this split. They'd only gotten first blood in 23% of their games so far. So securing it here is a nice start. Yeah, that's lower than their, almost as low as their win rate.
You want to be on the other side of, is Sajed also not happy on the side of this bot lane that he's finding himself currently. B-Boy asserting himself in the 2v2, and now it looks like Sajed's going to have to go for another back. Ooh, this poor bot lane start's getting even worse now for DSG.
Sajed has had laning phase as his biggest weakness. It's a 2-man lane, so both Sajed and Lions have been struggling a lot. The Ashe Seraphine does scale exceptionally well But if you're, usually it's like a Karma that's able to outpush it, or something like a Nautilus to try and engage. Haven't seen many Lucian Melios be able to take it down. The dive helps a lot with this, obviously.
Yeah,
but
it's not just Sajed in the laning phase. I want to highlight as a little trade there mid. I've also seen Lions and Sajed just having completely missynced moments. Like there again, Lions gets chunked out, starts channeling it back, is now staying in lane, but Sajed had gone for the reset. Lions gets chunked for free. And now the bot lane's in a bad spot again. So it's like, who do you, point the finger to? 80 carry support. Either way, I feel like we've seen these moments creep up in DSG games. Yeah, and Kryra wouldn't necessarily want to go face first into the Olaf, but he had 6 wraps around. Just straight in onto Zinni, who was just walked up into the wave. And that is an easy pickup for DSG's jungler, Kryra on the board. I mean, he'd taken the top crab, second spawn, so he was level 6, wanted to make a play on level 6 immediately. Zinni thought he was playing a bit towards his jungle, but was just too far up in the lane. Yeah. And now Kryra still has this level advantage on the Contracts. Next camp should be level 6 for Contracts. Yeah, if Contracts wins this smite, it's actually really rough for Kryra, who has Lions in his back pocket. Probably kill him. Contracts just going to chase him down, says, I don't need the level 6. I also have my support behind me, and will get it. That smite was a little close. Well, it reset, so Kryra actually thought he was going to smite below 1,000, but it had healed. Oh, B-Voy thought he found a moment there. Capitalizing on Kryra, looking at the Gromp, and we'll just chunk him out as well. Contract's now back onto the Dragon. He gets the smite, reset or not from the camp. He's now level 6, and also has a Dragon. Geez, that was so close, but it's perfect the way it worked out for Shopify, because they know Kryra used his smite, they know Kryra was chunked low, and they have that permanent bot prio. So Contract's definitely doing his best to run this early game. Finds himself ahead in the jungle matchup. The bot lane is just getting more and more ahead. It's now 24 CS advantage. That's a little over 3 total waves when you factor in the cannon there. It's just not looking great for Sajed and Lions in that 2v2. And now again, Seos getting out of the lane, helping out Zinni stay safe, pushing this one. So far, that was the only rough play for Shopify, was Zinni walking too far forward. I like that you highlighted he thought he had the jungle back up, but said he's the one that gets jumped on by the enemy jungler. A little faster on the engage, level 6 Vi. And now, Calmy, getting pretty aggressive. Ultimate thrown onto Calmy. Zinni's just using these as kind of like a poke tool to keep Calmy's health down. But I mean, this is kind of what I talk about why I like Cassio in this matchup. Catalyst and a Null Magic. Zinni used his whole bar on him, and what's Calmy? He's just easily killing Tibbers, keeping the wave. Over half health, still has his Cassio ultimate for anything he needs, so Calmy's in a good spot in lane. That time Zinni giving respect. He did not walk up to Kryra in the brush. No cease and desist available on the Vi, but had the flash and the Vault Breaker. And now Zinni is going to have to look for a reset sometime soon here as his mana bar is very low. Sajed is also always in base. Yeah, I feel like this whole it's 51 CS at 8 minutes and 30 seconds. How many resets has he had so far? Is that 4? A million. 4 resets minimum? He hasn't left the base. He comes back to lane. He looks at his health bar, realizes it's too low, and bases again. That's the whole game, it feels like. Yeah. And we always talk about Sajed as a player. I like to highlight the fact when team fights happen, this kid shows up. He is cracked in the 5v5 and positioning and target selection, but it's just getting out of laning phase without this deficit. Now it's 1,000 individual for B-Voy and 9 minutes into the game. He's going for another reset. This time at least it makes a little more sense. You push the wave and go for a reset, and you're kind of trying to avoid the Lucian as much as you can, who went for a very interesting build, I might add. Absolutely wants the shield cut as quickly as possible. Serpent's Fang first item Lucian is not something I've seen much of. I mean, it'll work. Vi shields, Cassante shields, Seraphine shields. Get a lot of value off of it, as looks like the stun must have landed right there onto Zinni. Calmy setting up the play for Kryra. Actually, no, it's an Ash Arrow. Yeah, the Petrifying Gaze was still on off cooldown for Calmy right there. Is now Fudge going for a 1v1 against Surdy. Big damage, but Cassante should be just fine. Third and Topo strike, not going to pull Fudge back under the turret. Nice arrow, though, from Sajed. That's what you want from your AD carry, who's falling behind. As now it looks like Contracts splashing away, turning back into Calmy, just trying to drain, take his web as B-Voy flashes the wall, gets the damage onto Kryra, and Shopify Rebellion's bot lane shows up to save the day. Whew. Bot lane is just trying to save the day because top lane is down 10 to 15 CS in Cassante versus Rumble. Ooh, Surdy's going for an all-in. That's a flash from Fudge. All out from Surdy is going to be just try and kited away. Fudge is able to get back to safety. Yeah, Surdy could have maybe looked for a flash to follow, but at that point, it's so hard to stay on top of the Rumble.
Would have been really aggressive, but that was a situation there where Calmy was in a great spot because the Ash Arrow had killed Zinni, but Contracts able to duel. Watch the arrow right here. Gets the good angle, straight down the mid lane. Boom. Ooh, can't dodge it. Then straight on the miasma, so there's no way he flashes immediately into the Vi ultimate. Nothing you can do once that first Ash Arrow lands. So Shopify's like, oh. Can't do much.
Yeah, that's probably what Zinni did. Hands off the keyboard. You know, you're probably not going to move for a while. Here's the other replay of Contracts with a play he found.
Yeah, I mean, it was actually with the mid lane kill, Calmy and Cryer were going in to try and put Contracts down. Really good flash from Contracts there. I feel like if that Vi Q lands, maybe they're able to one-shot him, but B-Boy moves up.
Back to live. Looks like Fudge getting run down by Surdy again. The flash was used that time, and it's a solo kill for Surdy. Cryer now Vault Breakers on to Contracts. That is a Scuttlecraft picked up by Shopify Rebellion's jungler, but in comes Calmy. Pops the Olaf ult, but he's taking his way through it! Trades his life 1-for-1 in the jungle.
That's very good for DSG and specifically Surdy. So, not great for Cryer. Kill did go over to Contracts. As you could see his ultimate ticking down, the Olaf ult came up at exactly the right time to get that kill onto Surdy. But Surdy's been looking great. I know he talked about on his stream, this is a short-term thing. This is a spectacular audition for a long-term contract because they're 2-0 with Surdy. He's solo killing Fudge. Cassante versus Rumble, who, when I believe it was Thanatos did this, we're saying Thanatos unstoppable. Surdy's doing the same thing. He's doing the same thing to the same player. So, got to give Surdy some credit here.
I love what you're doing, Jet. I just got to ask, how many times do we have to see this type of performance for these players to get picked up? I feel like it's so tough in the current landscape. Players like Surdy have been around for a while. He did this last year, and he's doing it again now.
I will say, the environment for him in top lane is so much better than it's ever been with RollQuest. He struggled so much with team play, in lane swapping. He was getting lane swapped every single game, but now I feel like, especially if he's able to do this on Cassante, the meta stuff, we know he has pocket picks like Camille and Vayne. We're getting a bit ahead of ourselves because this is DSG versus Shopify, but this is the time for Surdy to, you know, if they had top lane RollQuest last year, I think there's a good chance Surdy's still in the league.
Especially with these, you know, younger rookie top laners who have not had the years of experience that players like Impact have had. The top lane swap was definitely a different meta to approach. I like that we're seeing the strength of Surdy. Bot lane still behind by quite a large margin, but Calmy's keeping them in the game too. So overall, the game gold is pretty much even as we have Dragon set up.
Bot lane is a disaster for DSG. So this Drake is kind of uncontestable. Serpent's Fang Lucian, it's almost like he's just going to have the Serpent's Fang and then the full build is kind of how far ahead he is of the Ashe. So it's one of these things that you can do when you're ahead and not really get hurt that much by it.
You know what I'm realizing? It's also value against the Seraphs. Once Calmy has that completed,
it's going to work
just
against everything. No,
really smart pickup.
It's good. And a reminder of the playoff implications right now as well. Shopify, it's really important they 2-0. If they 2-1 even, they're not in full control of their playoff situation because Dignitas can do some funny business tomorrow.
They can do the funniest thing of all time.
And knock Shopify out of playoffs. And then also, on the side of DSG, theirs is a lot simpler. 2-1 or 2-0, win and you're in.
They're in. That's much, much easier, much simpler. They get a little wiggle room as Zinni gets the stun on Calmy, but just does not do a lot of damage at all. Rod of Age is already putting in work. His Contracts will run for it. Has Seos behind him with the warm hugs, but just not nearly enough for Cryer. Actually, Vault Breaker's back in. Sees an assist onto Seos, trying to set up the team, but he just gets popped. It is a 1-for-1 as eventually Emilio will go down. Trading your jungler for the support, though.
Not loving what I'm seeing out of Cryer in this game. I will say Cryer is a very confident player. And sometimes he just feels like he really needs to make something happen, and he's had a few bad games because of this where he just keeps forcing. That to me looked like a bit of an overforced play, thinking we have Cassio, Ashe, Seraphine, we win a fight. Let's just make sure we fight. But it wasn't necessarily the right time. He falls a little bit further behind the Olaf. It was a 1-for-1 at the end of the day, so can't fault him too much.
You can be a good dad, Jet. Talking about, he's a confident player.
It's a confidence thing.
You know, he really believes in himself.
It's high effort.
Doing that move. But it has mounted a bigger lead for Contracts now. 1,000 gold for himself, 2,000 for B-Boy. Again, kind of answered just from the top in the mid lane of DSG, so the gold's still not swing in one way or another. It just comes down to who can carry harder. Because Lucian, I'd say the downside of something like the Serpent's Fang, it's so cool to think about, all the shielding reduction, all that, but like realistically, is it the stats that you need to take down a K'Sante primary frontline who also has a big lead? Maybe not. I mean, I'm not confidently saying that. Like, there's a chance that it is still enough.
He's got 15 lethality. That'll take the K'Sante's armor from 122 to 107.
That's something.
That's a little bit.
That's a
little bit of
numbers right there.
I mean, I think just the fact that he has a free Serpent's Fang, if you compare his items, like it's one item to one item
he
and
is.
It
is free. I didn't even realize
He's a full item ahead. But at the same time, you know, his mid laner's behind. His top laner's really behind.
Jungle's just straight up 1v1 in under turret, and he gets it! Contracts just straight up 1v1 Kryra under the turret.
Jungle bot. Jungle bot. Play jungle bot. What a play there. Contract, Seos, and B-Boy are this three-man wrecking crew, and they're just hoping their solo lanes can hold it together.
Lion's now trying to get away. Okay, he's fine. Man, it's been a while since I've seen a Contract's performance quite like this, chat. We know what he's capable of. We know Contracts at his prime is just unstoppable, and I think Kryra is feeling a little bit of that magic right now.
This man wants to make playoffs. He does not want to be denied playoffs. It doesn't matter if they've lost 5 series in a row. They can start the winning streak whenever and see how far it takes them. And if Contracts is playing like this, he's had a lot of standout early games. They just haven't been able to stay connected and transition it into team wins. But the connection here is jungle, Lucian, Melio, stick together, guys. Because if they are together, they're winning these fights.
Olaf canonically likes hugs. The warm hugs are great.
Okay.
He's always trying to hug the enemy AD carry. That's my headcanon, at least. And now he's got the Melio to help him out. And now double CC immunity, if you think about it, because we had talked about that with the Ragnarok and the Olaf, but the Breath of Life from the Melio also just means that the Ash Arrow, the Encore, the Petrifying Gaze, so much less valuable against a lot of the comps. So
God, what CC? So yeah, you mentioned Breath of Life already from the Melio and the Mikhails, plus the Olaf. They have so many ways of cleansing the CC from DSG.
All right, let's see if DSG can do it. They're not out of this game yet. They have leads, and now they're TPing that lead down into the bottom river. Looking at B-Boy. Call me walking up. Kryra as well. There's early flash from Seos as now the Cold comes out to get some damage early. Fudge side steps. There's Vault Breaker, now Cease and Desist in onto Seos. Encore used, they got him. Killing spree for 30 as DSG's top laner leads the way. Contracts chases in. Sajed trying to kite back, but Contracts is just drained, taking through everybody. Kryra wins the fight on the side, but a double kill to Contracts. But that is the AD carry down.
Zinni still has...
He's got the stun, he throws it out, lands it onto Surd, who has to flash away. Now Sajed's trying to use the space. Kryra gets in on a Zinni. He's down. Contract still alive. Double kill again to the Olaf, picking up 2 in one fight.
It's an absolute bloodbath. 9 kills to 9. Almost identical gold, and Contracts with 7 kills. He's an absolute behemoth now on the Olaf. They could not take him down. But somehow they actually did get onto B-Boy. We'll have to watch that fight one more time with the flank TP coming in from Surdy's K'Sante. So him and Contracts are fighting on the bottom. I'm watching B-Boy channeling up top. So they catch him with the end of the Seraphine ultimate, and then Kryra gives him a little vibe bump.
Yeah.
Before running him down, and then he's super low. Kryra just charges up another Q, barely finishes him off with the smite in the third auto. So able to take B-Boy out of the fight thanks to the Seraphine ultimate. And then Contracts Zinni end up winning this 2v3. Could have made a little escape herald there, but the fight starts a bit before that. Got caught there with Zinni having Tibbers up, but he had the stun, as we're probably jumping out for more action.
Drake's already taken by Shopify Rebellion. Stun lands onto Call Me, the Culling as well. Not enough damage for the kill, but enough to really threaten the Cassiopeia, so DSG gonna have to back off. That's 3 dragons picked up by Shopify Rebellion.
Already soul point this early on in the game. You love to see that, since I believe the scaling on the Ash Seraphine Cassio is really high. So if they can get that early Mountain Soul, that'll really help them be able to win late game team fights.
Ooh, the equalizer goes down, not landing onto Call Me, so instead they turn everything in onto the jungler Kryra. Nice little sidestep there, gets the Vault Breaker over the wall. Contracts are trying to body block it unsuccessfully, so DSG get their jungler out.
And Baron's up now, so you always have to worry about someone sneaking that, especially Cassio Ash. They kill Baron very quickly. I just also feel like how fed Lucian, Olaf are. It's a decent Baron threat for them as well. And
Zinni stopping
quick
the
little
back.
proto belt.
Yeah.
Nice macro proto belt right there. Gets the ult out of Call Me, thinking he was getting all in.
Yeah, didn't even throw down the Tibbers, so he still has that as a tool. No flash available, so no way to really get onto Call Me, as Kryra's actually here with the sweeper. Call Me could look to be bait. Now Zinni has to run back. Cease and desist. Buffers the stun. And that is Chain CC, but locked under turret. Kryra will go down 1 for 1.
Nice confidence there once again by Kryra. May have died 5 times. Doesn't mean you can't give another kill to your mid laner.
Yeah.
Absolutely worth it. Now your mid
2.4
laner
ahead.
is 2,500 gold and 50 CS up on the ante.
Big lead for DSG in the solo lane department. That is what's keeping them in the game. Actually, technically with a lead right now.
What a crazy game, man. 2,500 gold. Solo lanes are 5,500 gold up, but they're only 300 gold up in the game.
Yeah.
Because of bot jungle.
This is
how disparate.
This is an entertaining one, to say the least.
Yeah.
There's a lot of confidence in this game.
We really have the superheroes to follow during the fight, you know? Like
we really do.
We have to watch we only have to watch Olaf Lucian and then Cassante Cassio. Those are like the 4 champs. They're deciding the game.
I mean, it's a pretty easy flowchart to follow. Is Lucian free firing? Yes, good. Is Cass free firing? Also, yes, good. Now, who's going to be...
Nice Mikhails.
Taken down first. Mikhails from Seos. Yep, gets himself out of there.
Self Mikhails is tricky. You got to press it right before the Ash arrow hits you, and then the 0.2 seconds, it'll go off and stun you. You can't do it while stunned.
Interesting. Good timing there.
Yeah, pros just make it look easy all the time.
As a support player, I pride myself in not building Mikhails. So.
Yeah. I think that's a good recommendation. Anyone that's not like diamond or above, just don't even bother with active items. You're just going to forget most of the time.
Well, Locket's fine.
Is it?
Locket's an easy one.
Do you use it well?
Yeah, you just press it whenever they go in on you.
Okay, if you remember to, then great.
I remember Locket. Sometimes Knight's Vow. I'll put it on my AD carry, and then you just kind of forget about it. Then
As long as you press the button.
Yeah, you press it the one time. It's now a pick here. Call me! That's not the flowchart DSG won.
Well, it was the Olaf won the flowchart over the Cassio right there, but in a sense, Zinni is jungling for contracts. So he is setting up for the true carry of the game, which is the Olaf. It's just give me the CC, I will run in and murder him.
If you think about it, we basically have like a 4-way rock, paper, scissors, where Olaf can kill the Cass, Cassante can kill the Lucian. Who do you think wins between Lucian and Cass 1v1? I'm going to put on the Cass.
Yeah.
I feel like Cass.
Rock, paper, scissors, Olaf. That's the...
Rock, paper, scissors, Olaf. There we go.
Olaf
just trumps everybody. Yeah. Does he have Black Cleaver yet? No, not quite. So Cassante can survive a while against him.
Yeah. Contact's going Death Dance next, I think. Oh. So he's just going to be an absolute monster. But that really turns the tempo of this game, right? They're able to stop the Cassio from getting pushed. Surdy's trying to get a little bit of push top lane, but the biggest thing for DSG is being able to group around this next Drake that's coming up, because otherwise they give away Mountain Soul, and then they're definitely not killing the Olaf.
Yeah, that gets ridiculous. It's a minute away as already DSG start to group there. They TP Surdy into the mid lane to help them get priority there. They've already taken the top turret, and Shopify Rebellion have nobody currently in that top lane to answer it back. So it seems both teams have the same opinion. It comes down to this fight in 45 seconds.
Okay, Summoner spell, check. Flashes, check. Everybody flash. Everybody heal. Both AD carries barrier. So it's about just, this is the game right here. So Fudge trying to get that last little wave in, maybe can get a little bit of extra gold. I'm wondering if he's close to an item. He's not. So I think I'd rather have Fudge on mid-wave here, just because this is all important. He will be able to get this outer turret and then TP down. Contract's also taking a bit of a late base. He's probably completing an item.
Yeah, 10 seconds for the Dragon, though. DSG,
he's got Death Dance.
They did not spot that. So if they just burn it down immediately, maybe they can get it before Contracts gets there.
Yeah, when stuff like this works out, it is absolutely the right call from Shopify. It's just a little bit risky, but as you can see, actually, Cassio Vi are just burning the Drake.
I think they take it down way too fast. Contracts is now spot on the ward. DSG can say just focus on the objective. He will now run in. Ragnarok used on the Call Me. Dragon's been peeled off of. Contracts is going to try and take his way through a TP in for Fudge. He gets the Dragon! Contracts survives in the 1v2, gets the objective, and will win the team fight for Shopify Rebellion.
Contracts is the GOAT. Honor Contracts. Contracts player of the game. Zinni finds a huge one.
They even get on to Sajed. It's a double kill to Zinni. A slaughter under the mid turret. And only Surdy left alive will TP back to safety. The tank will watch as the mid turret will crumble. DSG lose the team fight. Shopify Rebellion 4-for-0, Dragon Soul Baron in their sights.
I just want to go over how insane what Contracts was that he just did. He goes in alone to 2 people that are taking the Drake, runs through them, starts winning the fight, and then smites the Drake. And after that, Zinni gets the perfect 3-man flash ults. Good untiltable for Zinni, because he was down like 60 CS before this play happened, but after getting the Mountain Soul, is able to also secure the team the Baron. And now it's just about moving this Olaf around. What is Kangas?
You could say DSG are getting run over by Shopify Rebellion. 316 don't mean nothing, Jad. It means what you do on the day. And right now, Shopify Rebellion are winning game number 1 currently.
You did this knowing that it was Shopify, and there was such a low chance that you'd be able to even see it.
Yeah, there's probably a high chance we never saw that footage.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
When did you do that?
I'm a man of mystery, Jad.
Okay.
Okay? Don't ruin the illusion. That was live.
That was live.
Yeah.
You're back once again.
I got better cardio between then. Third and Topher strike onto Contracts. I think Surdy's wishing he had not done that, as now he's the focus of the ire of Shopify Rebellion. B-Boy with the kill, more than enough damage, but now Contracts no longer has the Ragnarok available. He's stuck on the wrong side of the wall, but he just won't go down! Contracts still makes it worth it as he answers his life for another. Big shutdown for Call Me, but DSG, at least they got that shutdown.
Woo! We'll see if the shutdown means anything. I think it's pretty unlikely.
Yeah.
As 9 kills and still a 4,000 gold lead for Contracts, who is just trying to pull Shopify into playoffs. What an insane game he's had so far.
Incredible performance from the jungle, from the bot lane. I like how you highlighted Zinni's mental staying in the game, even Fudge's mental staying in the game. He got solo killed, but he's still showing up, throwing down great equalizers in the fights, and has been helping out in the damage department. So Shopify Rebellion, they did not lose their focus, and they said, no, Contracts, just set him up, set the jungler up for success. Sometimes even he was setting himself up. The team was mid. He runs the dragon.
I mean, even the very beginning of the game, the full clear into Bot Crab, into Staying to get that first gank kill onto Lions. Played through bot the entire game. Also had a couple really good skirmishes early, and then has just played with this lead. It's not like he has like even a super enchanter with him. It's not like he's got a Lulu or a Karma to speed him up extra. The Melio helps a bit as an enchanter, but it's actually the fact that he's just 4,000 gold ahead of the rest of the game. Like, let's see.
Not even building towards a Guardian Angel.
Damage-wise, like he's in a game with Illusion.
And he's just going in solo. Again, look at Contracts. 1v4 gets a kill onto Sajed. No assists, no backup, just Contracts. Absolutely smacking DSG around.
I mean, he's the richest person in the game, him and B-Boy. He's done the most damage. He's got 10 kills.
This is a legendary performance. What you're seeing on your screen is special right now. It is rare we see this level of pop-off as the stun lands on the Call Me and Sturdy. The solo laner's locked up. Encore hit with the Breath of Life. Seos countering that one with one click of a button, and DSG do not find an engage.
Contracts ult back up in 5 seconds. They will have multiple waves of supers crashing, even if Baron is down. Sajed just respawned. I'm curious if they get aggressive here. They don't have to.
They have the Ash Arrow, instantly hit by the Mikhails. Seos is ready for that one, so B-Void's just fine. DSG do not find an angle for the fight, and they're just gonna have to clear up these super minions coming in all 3 lanes.
Zinni TPing back in, though. It looks like they want to keep the pressure up. Fudge, no ult. They're really down a lot of ults, but they want to keep the pressure on because there's nothing else for them to do at the moment.
2 minute 20 till Baron, 1 minute 20 till Elder. Shopify Rebellion, if they just find that one engage with Zinni Tibbers, they can just end the game right here. They have Flash, they have Rocket Belt. I'm watching the mid laner. Zinni, can he find the angle? So he's trying to buy space right now for the team. Kryra's on the flank here as Vi, maybe looking for a Vault Breaker, but not gonna find it. There we go! Zinni with the Flash Tibbers on all members of DSG. Call Me into the stasis. He was the only one with a gold lead, and with him out of the picture, a double kill to Fudge and almost an ace for Shopify Rebellion. They'll shut down DSG hard in game number 1.
Huge engages from Zinni and a even bigger game from Contracts. When's the last time we saw a jungle carry the game that hard?
Because this is a different performance from Shopify Rebellion. Now, a lot of that's going to have a little asterisk on it. It is against DSG, one of the other teams in the bottom 4. Shopify Rebellion have shown up against some of the other teams below them in the standings here, but like 3-16 was their record. That was their game record coming in. On the year. Yeah. Including lock-in. They were 0-6 and then 3-10. Now 4-16. It's looking up, Jet.
That is better.
They could win out the rest of the year.
That is better. 4-10 game score. The match score is what's most important, though. They have one match win. They need to have the second match win. And if they do it in a 2-0, they'll be in. If it's a 2-1, then it's up to Dignitas. Which you don't want it to be up to Dignitas if you're DSG, or if you're Shopify. So it's really, really important that they 2-0 this. On the side of DSG, it's also important that they win the next 2 games because they can clinch their own playoffs with a series win.
Exactly. And they want to make sure that they can do just that. As we saw Surdy on your screen there a moment ago, he's had a great performance so far individually, especially in laning phase. A solo kill against Fudge, but they're opting for the Bard first pick here for LYONs in the support position. Let's see what Shopify want to answer with.
Risky choice. LYONs, Bard, he's had some bad Bard games, for sure. He does have a win on it so far in this split, and with Ashe, Seraphine already being gone, they feel like that's going to give them the most ability to play the map. But B-Boy Ezreal, a classic, is locked in. Interestingly enough, 0-4 on Ezreal this split. So he feels like he's doing a lot of damage, but he's not getting the wins on the Ezreal.
That's tough, especially considering it was one of his popular ones when we think of years past. Like that and Lucian that were up there in his most played. He had the Lucian game. Now let's see if the Ezreal game gets its first win of this split. It's paired with Seos' Nico, so some kill threat if you find that nice tangle bar, but also you can get the Nico out of the lane, and Ezreal's just fine. So maybe even setting up contracts for more carry potential here as Caitlyn Pantheon locked in for DSG.
Yeah, I like that from a scaling perspective, just having the Caitlyn in your back pocket in case the game goes late and Sajed can win some late game team fights. Also feel like Pantheon can make a lot happen early. It's a little bit less homeless than the Vi was in the last draft, where I did feel like Kryra, once he was up against the Melio Olaf, he's not beating Olaf in the 1v1. He can't hard engage on people because the Melio is going to block it. So at least the Pantheon has some global pressure that will be able to kick in. But on the split side, Contracts with the Wukong is another pick where if he starts getting ahead, can really take over the game.
True, and Wukong can be primary engaged, can also be follow-up engaged. Nico as well, like both of these two champions, really big AoE ultimates that can get fights started or follow up depending on if they want to put Fudge on even more tank engaged duty. We'll see what that game plan is, as currently it's focused on the mid lane with Talia taken away. But yeah, when I'm looking at DSG's side, I love the Caitlyn Bard combo in the bot lane because of how strong it is once you hit level 6 as well. Bard hits an ultimate, trap directly under it. That's pretty much a guaranteed kill. The problem is it's Ezreal who's got high mobility and Nico who might not even be in the lane. So we'll see if they're actually able to pull that off. Maybe it's going to be on LYONs to roam and answer Seos on the pathing as well, which we know Seos loves getting behind Contracts.
Yes, for sure, especially when Contracts is playing like he did in the Olaf game. But the thing we need to remember about game 1 as well is that Calmy and Surdy were very far ahead of them.
Yes.
So that's something that DSG is going to try and do again. You can see bot lanes are what's locked in along with jungle. So this next phase of draft is completely about trying to secure the best top lane match as possible. So DSG picked first pick, which means that Shopify is going to have the first pick after these bans here, and then DSG is going to have to blind something.
Yes. Now, which one will Shopify give them? If I had to guess, I would say it's going to be Fudge on the blind pick here, but maybe it's a flex.
That's clever.
A flex pick. We've seen a Nivea top, we've seen a Nivea mid, so this does not give a lot of information to DSG.
Trying to think of the power picks. Rumble Cassante, already gone from last game. The Aurora York band, just picking TF and saying that they're going to be playing through sides. I've loved the TF, and they give Surdy his Jace.
Okay.
So blind pickable champion. Jace, very vulnerable to Wukong later on in games, but can definitely dominate a little bit early, and they throw the Scion to try and neutralize it in the top lane.
And it's going to be a lot on Calmy to find the gold cards, maybe Kryra to find engages, or Bard Tempered Fates. But typically when I see a comp like this, it's gold card, trap, Cosmic Binding, Tempered Fate. You layer onto the TF finding the pick, but here's Fudge on a tank. It's Scion locked in.
I mean, just TF can do some magic damage, but not like tank shredding magic damage.
Nope.
So trying to run Jace, Pantheon, Caitlyn into Wukong, Sion, while also having a good teamfight structure with the Nivea, Nico, Ezreal, I really do prefer Shopify's team fighting. It's just a matter of if DSG can play wide enough, win lanes hard enough, and really snowball the game. Because this Sion could absolutely just be the pick that puts Shopify into playoffs.
Yeah. I love also the highlight Wukong behind that, though. Really high base armor stats, loves playing into AD compositions. And yeah, TF's going to have to do a lot of work here in the AP department, when that's not necessarily what the champ is known for. Surdy on a carry, though. This is exciting to see for him individually. When they had tried this in years past, if you remember Surdy from last year, you had highlighted it already, Jad. Didn't work because of lane swaps. He was never really in that 1v1. Cassandra and Romo gets a solo kill. Maybe Surdy can be the X factor here for DSG, as he is on one of his carry picks. He absolutely is. We have a few things to touch on as we get into this game. I need to take a small tangent to shout out Raz's fantasy team, because he's in last place. He's in last place in our fantasy league. The Caster Fantasy League actually ends today. It does.
So loser in the regular season
tomorrow?
has to get clown makeup put on them by the winner of the fantasy league.
Okay.
Raz, as a last place player, decided to all in DSG players.
Yes, and post his roster publicly.
Yes, so I could copy it to make sure I wasn't last place. So I am personally harmed by this as well, by Raz's poor choices. But I will just say, if DSG doesn't turn this around, not only does Shopify get into playoffs, but Raz will definitely lose the fantasy league.
Well, you know what they say, if you're in first, you're last, but if you're not last, you're not in clown makeup. So I think you're fine, Jad. I think you're doing just fine. You're the real winner here. I think there's only one loser in our league at the end of the day.
And it'll be Raz. The winners, though, is interesting. Our stats guy found this in between games. Shout out Leo. It's the top 5 damage per minute in the jungle in LCS history. Inspired Karthus is number 1, but then Contracts, Kryra, and Contracts from last game. Contracts has these, like, semi-annual, I'm literally going to 1v9 games, and we got to see one of them just now on the
He's got 3 out of the top 5 highest damage.
If he could have just done like one more brand W, he could have passed Inspired for number 1.
True, was very close. That was the brand Zyra meta, though. If you noticed the 2 of those for that. Because you talked about jungle inflation, that was a couple of years ago.
True.
So I don't know how true that.
The Kryra Mundo game was from this year.
True. Yeah, and it's funny, Kryra's on there too. Mundo, of all things, not one you'd expect, but Kryra did get kind of bodied in that last game. You had highlighted a lot of it with drafts, but you like the Pantheon more here. What do you think Kryra needs to be focused on in this game to come back versus Shopify?
So a couple things with Twisted Fate is you need Twisted Fate to be able to move in order to unlock him. So it's always nice if you can make some type of visit mid lane to unlock the Twisted Fate, because then you can really start taking over the game.
Speaking of mid
but
lane,
if that's not there,
flash from
Call Me. Zinni has egg.
Ooh, Zinni still flashing. Had the egg available. I doubt Call Me will have the damage to kill, so Zinni just uses his passive, but still loses the summoner spell.
Yeah, no longer has egg. And also no flash. So that makes him an even bigger gank target. A lot of times you'd say just play through bot lane if you have the Caitlyn bar, but I don't feel like it's guaranteed that they can get pushed. So at this point, if I'm Kryra, I'm thinking bot river control into trying to get some type of kill onto Zinni, because if Call Me gets unlocked in this game, it just becomes super hard to play for any of the side lanes.
Sure. And also, thinking back on that flash, he probably didn't want the minions to aggro him, because if all the minions are on him, he probably does die
I think he dies in egg.
Yeah, so Zinni playing the safe path instead. No summoner spells on either mid laner, but I do agree that Kryra on the Pantheon, more gank options early game. Wukong doesn't provide any CC until level 6, so it'd be kind of on Zinni to set up the play. Wave will get shoved in. Zinni will just get a lot of this under the turret and actually be about a wave up over Call Me.
Yeah, Contracts will take kills if they're there, but in this game, actually, it is important that Shopify play with patience, because I think if Sion can get to his armor items, if Wukong can get to his Trinity Force, the game is going to kind of naturally start playing itself. So if DSG isn't really quickly forcing turret dives or really quickly stacking Drakes, I think Shopify is going to be pretty comfortable.
It's all about just making sure that you maintain your lane positions, wave states, lane positions. Combining those two together, as Zinni will again get the wave underneath this turret. Top lane, small lead for Surdy. Bot lane about dead even here between the two. So much better start now for Sajed and Lions, who again have been struggling a bit in the 2v2 so far this year. This time around, though, at least going even. Contracts now passing back on his second rotation here. He gets the Sheen first build. Kryra just picking up the longsword and a Ruby Crystal. And both will just get back to their second clears of jungle. No early ganks from Kryra, but again, I'm just going to keep highlighting that mid lane. Whenever there's no flashes available, always could be the focus of junglers.
And gold card. And Surdy is actually playing so aggressive right now.
Big damage on a Fudge. Has the shield come up, and Surdy knocks him back. Has to get to safety there. Fudge could look for the flash W auto, maybe get the kill, but now Kryra will use the Aegis Assault for the move speed. Zinni will get the stun in onto Call Me, and there goes Contracts. Flash in with the Warrior Trickster. Bonk for the first blood, and Shopify Rebellion strike in the mid lane.
Oof, Contracts is going to take those every single day. He's there for the counter gank, but my goodness, that's not what you want to see. The red card into the counter gank is an oopsie for sure. Zinni's able to land the stun onto the flashless TF as well, and now they're going for the 2v2.
Ooh, Lion's looking for the flash cosmic binding onto Seos. Not landing that one, so loses a summoner spell and takes a big chunk of damage.
Wow, so Shopify off to a good start. Flash burned from the Bard, they're quite low. Kryra having to defensively clear now. Completely scouted out by Seos, so Contracts knows he's completely safe to continue farming. And now Zinni's level 6 first as well.
Yeah.
Really start putting some pain down on Call Me.
As the Glacial Storm to just always push that wave out, keep control over it. From this point forward, you kind of mentioned, Jad, the TF wants the freedom to move around. When you're against an Anivia who will just instantly delete waves, you don't get big windows to do that.
Yeah, there's a couple things that TF loves to have. One is obviously push, which you don't get in many matchups.
Yep.
But 2 is volatile side lanes. And Sion hopes to reduce volatility, and then Bard is trying to create volatility with plays like that, because if there's anyone flashless, then even if you're losing, you can still sneak away as TF and maybe pull something off. But for now, like with all summoner spells being up in both side lanes, there's no need for Shopify to push either top or bot, so they can continue to just scale while this TF is getting just beat on in lane.
Yeah, so far Contracts, I mean, he gets the first blood, is going to hit level 6 here very quickly. Kryra has level 6, so he has the ability to full send. And I want to remind people of what happened last week when Kryra had the ability to full send. He actually did full send on Xin Zhao. It was Call Me on the Rise, setting him up for that. This time he could do it on his own. He still will have the TF behind him. But it was impressive to see Kryra having one of his kind of big pop-off plays himself. Well, usually when you realm warp 1v5 into the enemy team, you go down, but this one was actually good for DSG.
It was. They kind of won the game off of this play. He told us in the interview afterwards that they did it 16 times in scrims, and now they're 1 in 16 on it. So it just had not been working whatsoever, but they continued to full send.
That's a confident jungler, though, Jad.
It's the confidence.
Yeah.
He had a lot of those. He died 9 times in game 1. So we're not at 16 yet, but keep in mind that that's where we're going if these dives don't start working. And
you know, success rarely comes without a couple of failures along the way, Chad.
It's true.
So you got to fail to succeed.
Both of these teams can contest to that, Kangas.
They're ready to succeed. Both these teams are primed to succeed.
Very ready.
Yeah. As again, they will succeed if they win the series. Shopify Rebellion one more game. If they only take a 2-1, reminder that they're kind of waiting for that Dig Sentinels matchup going on tomorrow.
For sure, but 2-0?
They could do it right here. Yeah.
Lock. If they lose the series, eliminated. Very clear. DSG, also very clear. Win the series. They can't just win a game. They have to win the next 2 because they've already lost the game 1.
A lot of that coming down to the tiebreaker situations of who they've lost to so far. Everyone's kind of taken down Dignitas, but if you have bad records against everybody else around you, or even just one match win, not going to be enough. As Fudge popping down Surdy up here in the top lane. This time around, getting the better of the 1v1. Surdy will get fully shoved in under his turret.
Yeah, I mean, Shopify's full chilling right now. They have no reason to even start the Drake. They just want the Drake sold to be as late as possible. Make sure they're still collecting golden experience. I do want to note, like, it looks like Fudge is doing well in lane. Part of this is because of Surdy's build. He's kind of trying to do like a mid-game power spike with that tier call.
Well, he
but
might
if he
get
gets
some
dope
help
here.
That's a flash from
Now
Surdy for the decimating smash. No flash for the counterplay now as TF will come in. Calmy's trying to back up his top laner, and the turret will help him out for the kill. Contract's now taking up next here. Calmy has enough damage. 2 DSG.
You wouldn't think the volatile side lanes would be the Scion diving the Jace, but they find the volatile side lanes they need, and actually Calmy's exactly there for it. That must have been some good comms, I'd say, from Surdy saying they might be looking to dive here, come look, and Calmy is able to deliver the defense there with TF.
And with contracts off the map, this is also Kryber able to take the grubs, not the dragon, so it's still going to be a very delayed soul, but the lead continues. That is Trinity Force on the back here for contracts. The fact they went for that dive without even this power spike, like he had that gold theoretically at that time.
Also, that's not a cheap item. Trinity Force is incredibly expensive, and he's the first one to have his completed item, so he's still on a big power spike. He wants to fight now. Even without ultimate, he can really start playing the game. And a quick swap by Shopify as well after this. They move the Scion bot.
You know what this is, Jet?
What's this?
This happens to me all the time. You get Giga fed in a game in solo queue, and you enter the next game, and you just kind of feel like you're that strong still, and that you can just do no wrong. And then you get punished, you get that reality check of, oh, I need to spend my gold.
True.
Contracts is still ahead, but that is giving some gold back to DSG, who now have a slight lead overall for themselves. Contracts not letting it dismay him. He has the Trinity Force, and he's topside right now. As Fudge used the unstoppable onslaught onto Sajed. That's flashed down. Sajed's trying to kite away from the Scion. It's a 1v1, and Scion just doesn't quite have enough armor to fully tank the Caitlyn at this point. So Sajed would have won the prolonged fight. Fudge walks away.
Fudge will take the flash, man. You know, 1v1 against the Caitlyn now. If Wukong forced it, Sajed trying to get that wave all the way in, lands the E into R, so that would have been a guaranteed R hit. Maybe chains it with Q, and here's a gank mid.
Yeah, live. Calmy trying to set it up, but Zinni gets the wall down. Kryra not. And by another gold guard, Kryra does get to safety, didn't have to flash. No kills on either side.
Contracts is in their heads, man. If you can fight even numbers against TF, you are winning. TF and Pantheon. Kryra has tried to gank mid. Contracts has been right there. First time got a kill for them. This time ends up pushing them back.
Kryra, so that's a long ultimate cooldown. Pantheon, it's 3 minutes without any cooldown reduction. Currently with the Sundered Sky, I believe that's like, I don't know, around 2 minutes, 40 seconds, somewhere in that range. But still, long time before we're going to see that again, and the flash even longer. So that's pretty big commitment there from DSG.
Yeah, and crucially, Dragon's still up. Again, Shopify totally fine with this.
Seos finds Pop Blossom here onto Sajed. No flash from Fudge's earlier heroics means a kill for B-Boy, and it's going to turn into potentially more. Cyclone onto Lions. He can't get away. Contracts with another on the board. 3-1. That's 2 to Shopify.
Huge play by Shopify, and they're playing the slow, controlled game that they've quite honestly been working towards for quite a long time. Calmy and Kryra trying to get some plates down in the mid lane as Contracts takes this Drake. So Zinni and Seos just trying to play slow defense.
Kryra gets chunked right there by Zinni and has to walk away, but they denied some of the wave from Zinni, keeping him zoned off from that. But the first Dragon to go into Shopify, this is fantastic news for the scaling team. The fact that they don't even have to worry about a Dragon stack from the opposing team gives them so much time to play with.
Really trying to move mid here,
Zinni
though.
The target. Oh, Temper Fate. Barely sidestepped by Zinni. Stun will still land from the gold card, but not the angle from Lions to follow up with the Cosmic Binding, and Zinni just trades right back out of Kryra. DSG, they keep looking. Credit to for the attempt, but you don't actually get the grade for the attempts.
Gold is still close. Surdy with a Serpent's Fang trying to cut through really just the Scion shields early on. He's going to have a tough game trying to fight Impact. He did the Cull tier build, so I don't really know when he's going to start being a problem.
Pretty on top of Onslaught. Yep, it's Fudge going bot lane again on the Sajed, who still does. Oh, okay.
Wall. Got him. The wall got him.
Wall.
Tough. But on the positive note, the slow and controlled style is something DeMonte talked about, Shopify's assistant coach, on pros, was that he kind of broke down LCS teams into the teams that are trying to play really fast and the teams that are playing the more controlled style, which is kind of line. And then also Shopify, like when they're at their best, they want to make good, solid plans and play a slow, controlled game. And that's kind of what's needed here.
To play topside, send 3 members up there. Pantheon plus Twisted Fate ultimates. Even Lions is there to join the party and get an assist. That is a full send onto Zinni.
Full send. Zinni had no flash, so really well executed play there. They burned both globals, and they're in a race for the first turret right now, actually with Scion. Surdy Calmy probably kill it first. Scion doesn't kill it that fast, so they'll end up getting first turret and actually pulling themselves ahead in gold.
Looks like Fudge still has 2 more plates to get through in the bottom lane, if I can tell there. So well done from DSG. They had tried twice before, and this time that was, you know, very shortly after the Grand Starfall came off cooldown, and Cryer just immediately uses it. This time does get advantage because Zinni had used the flash on the earlier one. So that ultimate ability for Pantheon will be up before a flash on an enemy mid laner.
Yeah, Contracts. Actually the richest person on Shopify right now, so even though we're saying like, you know, last game, he's really fed. This game, he's also still really fed. But Surdy Call Me doing well themselves. It's actually kind of identical to last game, just not as extreme. When it's jungle bot ahead for Shopify and the solo lanes ahead for DSG.
I think the big thing is that bot lane has held on so far. Sajed and Lions not falling Giga behind, and in fact, DSG now making another play here. They don't have the ultimates, but they still have the numbers. Looking at Fudge, Temper Fate onto the turret. It will not be ramping up. They can get their damage onto Fudge, but he's got a big health bar. That's Flash from Cryer early to get himself out of there. And another successful side lane play for DSG.
And it's Shopify needs to be able to make plays on the other side of the map, since it's kind of hard to chase around a team as mobile as Bard, Twisted Fate, Pantheon. They are doing so. Zinni Contracts smacking away at this top lane turret. They're not trading up in gold, though, since you are getting kills on the side of DSG, and Surdy might be able to become a problem with his Cull cashing in, his mana unit completed, soon to turn into Muramana, and if he can somehow sneak his J spells past the Wukong Scion, he'd be effective. I just still think it's going to be pretty hard.
Yeah, but I like that DSG are pivoting their focus in this game. They're saying we're not going to be just targeting the mid lane. That's where they made the last couple of plays. Now everyone's rotated around, target the side lanes. That's what this comp is going to excel at. You have Jace in the side lane, you have Pantheon TF that can join up, and even Bard can run around very fast. Hasn't picked up Swifties. I imagine eventually those will come in, but also going towards just more movement speed in general in the itemization. So Lions is going to be a speedy Bard, and DSG will have numbers advantaged inside lanes. So Shopify, it's up to them to kind of figure out their answer to the puzzle that is DSG's composition, because if you're just going to only have somebody solo in a side lane over and over again, they're going to get played on, and yet again, they're going for it. That is Unstoppable Onslaught from Fudge, canceled early, as Surdy will teleport down.
I mean, if they completely keep denying him like all of the minions, then they're going to have a chance. Can they actually
They're going to Destiny in. That's a gold card used, stunned up. He's getting low, but I think he should be fine. No, under turret. Call Me's going for more. Surdy tanked up a couple shots. Call Me gets it. Mid turret will go down. Fudge does fall. Shoe Shot Barrage.
Apparently it's fine.
Not enough to kill. As now mid lane tier 2 is the focus for Shopify Rebellion. Temper Fate will land onto only one. It's Zinni. The trap goes down. He's rooted up, but Seos finds space for him. Grand Starfall now being used. Stunned up. Buffered. Zinni's fine. Cyclone from Contracts will turn the play onto Cryer. Aegis' ult to keep him up, and the wall's there. He's locked in place. The Pop Blossom from Seos. Followed up with a double tangle barbs. Flash from Call Me. Sajed tries to get away as well. DSG tried so hard to find a pick there, just couldn't quite get it.
Contracts is just the same. He's just the same as he was in game 1. He's trying to hard carry Shopify over the finish line. I think that was a huge overforce from DSG. They already kind of pulled off this miraculous two-man dive, TF Jace onto the Scion. And like, you're down 2 people now. You don't need to go fight into the strong Wukong Ezreal, but they feel like they can get something onto Zinni. They're clearly wrong in the extended play there and end up giving it back. I think they were actually starting to open up a pretty big lead.
Yeah, I'm wondering if maybe just like trading mid tier 2 for bot tier 2 would have been a better play.
Just defend the turret. You don't need to dive through to your Raptors. But now they really need to start stacking Drakes, and they're not that strong in 5v5s. They know that the Nico and the Wukong ult were burned in the last fight, though.
Yes, no engaged tools for Shopify outside of Scion, who will throw his body in. Does not land the ultimate, but to get some damage onto Sajed. Everybody from DSG are turning onto the Scion. Call Me got stuck on the wall right there. Fudge is going to buy a lot of time as the Battle Herald comes in. Knocks up Lions. Fudge goes down already. Traded for Surdy. That's where the Contracts even gets the turret. Loops all the way around, and Shopify will trade 1-for-1.
What an incredible drift there by Contracts.
Yeah.
He almost got to kill TF at the back end of that. Now they can move on to the Drake. Zinni's full health. He's going to shred that Drake down, no problem.
And they delayed the fight, so now Cyclone is available. Pop Blossom's about to be. The engaged tools are here. DSG are going in. They Temper Fate, dodged by B-Boy. Stun lands onto the clone. Shopify get the dragon, and DSG are going to get out. Okay, Contracts.
Yep.
Played a clean game, but he didn't get over that wall.
Sure.
It's okay.
Kick him from the team. He's done.
He's got 3 out of the 5 top damage of all time in LCS as a jungler. I think he's all right.
Dude, he's been so good. Tickets also available for the LCS Spring Finals, June 13th to 14th. 2-day and 1-day passes are now on sale. Use that QR code, and who knows, maybe Shopify even makes it.
There's a chance.
2 of the last 3 splits, they've actually been top 3. As crazy as that seems, and with contracts playing like this, you never know if they can make playoffs and if they can do some type of lower bracket run. They always keep you guessing.
Yeah, you can never tell. In fact, I can say that there's one member of the broadcast that will be very excited if they make it to playoffs.
Is it you?
It's me.
Okay.
100%.
Good to know.
Nobody else believed in them. For fairly good reason. They have, again, reminder, 3-16 on the year.
Yeah, even now they've still lost 16 of their 20 games this year.
Yeah.
On stage.
But
I
I'm
will
just going
say,
to keep reminding people of that before I caster curse them.
I will say they posted their scrim board again
Oh, they did.
on the Shopify Twitter.
I missed that one, okay.
So the way their scrim board works is they will do individual ratings for each player on each day of scrims.
Yep.
Last year it was player self-ratings. This year it's actually players rating each other. So they'll randomize, like today, Contracts, you get to grade B-Boy, and like today, Fudge, you get to grade Contracts.
Oh, that's funny.
I imagine there's a few memes in there.
That's content.
But their Friday scrims were really good. Fudge got a 10.
Whoa!
Got a 10 out of 10.
I mean, currently 0-4. Now the engage from Seos, though. Following up Contracts. Semper Fate will only land on a 1, and Shopify already got one themselves. Make it a double. Contracts unleashed on the Wukong. Disguised, we're not ready for that play.
I'm giving Contracts an 11 this game, this series. He's hard carried on Olaf, nearly set an LCS damage record, is unbelievable on this Wukong, and they're going for Baron. I don't see how DSG stopped this.
Kryra's dead. They don't have Tempered Fate to buy time. It would just be Sajed maybe finding a miracle, but he's mid lane with Call Me. No contest, Baron taken, traded for damage on the mid-tier 1, and they will even take it. Oh, and he's in the hole, redirected.
Got him.
Landed. Boom.
Counts for damage.
Baron picked up by Shopify Rebellion after the 2 quick kills. They don't have many engage tools, but when the engage tools land, they land hard.
And Kryra tries to stop Contracts from getting in. This is why Jason to Wukong is just not a good time.
Yeah.
Because you have no tools to really stop the Wukong from getting on your head with a Cyclone, and then any other CC lands, you're dead.
Yeah, good. Really good angle. Nice. Dash. Whoa. This guy.
This guy. This guy is Contracts.
Yeah, Devontae and Revan, this is the moment that they've wanted, and this is what Shopify Rebellion are doing to Disguised right now, ripping them in half.
How many of these have you pre-prepared? That's what I need to know.
It's a secret.
We're going to be in playoffs. We're going to have new ones over and over again. They now have Baron. They have a 2.5 item Contracts, who is, again, kind of running over this game. He's, Surdy actually has done 1 billion damage to Sion this game, and I imagine gold-wise, Contracts now
back
ahead.
Up in the lead, baby.
The carry of Shopify. Jason trying to get something done on the side lane, but they need to stop the front door first.
Can Contracts get in the top 5 damage per minute again as a jungler here? Twice in 1 series would be crazy. Stunned up, looking at Call Me right there. Fudge is buying a lot of space for Shopify as they have the Baron-empowered wave crashing into this bottom turret. Nice stun over the wall into Call Me, but in comes Surdy. They have the gold card, flash from Zin. He's very low, has the egg available, but won't need to pop it yet. Surdy's going to look for the flank. He's got the Empowered Shock Blast. If he can land it onto Zinni, that's big. Call Me Destiny flank. Looking for continued play. Nice little spear there. They got the egg. That's going to be a dead Zinni, but a pop blossom from Seos will land on the 2. Aegis Assault will buy all of Kryra's health bar back. Now the engage from Contracts. Cyclone onto 1. Contracts, he's on the back line. Tried to turn the play, but Surdy and Call Me are unleashed. A shutdown to Surdy. Contracts, the last member left on the Rebels, as he's going to try and Warrior Trickster over the wall, but it's straight into Call Me. Shut down for Surdy. The solo laners stand for DSG as they defend the base.
Surdy is very fed now. He gets the big bounty payoff from Contracts, as well as a couple other kills in that fight. A 5,000 gold diff right now. So this all started because Zinni got too close to the wall, got hit by a gold card and a shock blast. So it's all about trying to get the egg first and keeping this fight spread out. And then when they egg him, since Shopify doesn't really hard engage onto one side, they can't win the top of the fight. Contracts nearly pulls off a superhero move, getting 2 Sundered Sky procs as he cyclones through. Maybe he could have gone down, and with how fed he is, could have killed Call Me and like made it kind of close. But then at the end here, oh no, they're fighting back.
No, DSG! They hit SR with the stunner this time. Oh no, disaster.
And a Drake. So, gonna move right on there. Surdy doing great. Surdy's doing great on that chase. Pretty well done.
4, 3, and 6. When you give Surdy the carry, this is what you want to see out of him. He had incredible stats last weekend, and even on the Cassante in game 1 of this series, he was able to solo kill Fudge. He looked solid in the team fights. Now, he's got a gold lead, a massive gold lead, so much so that the team has a lead. That's basically just Surdy. Call Me's got 1.6K as well, but answered by other members of Shopify as some damage traded back and forth.
I always find it so hard for Jace to use his lead, though, especially if the other team has a strong front line or strong engage. So he was really good at getting leads, but then carrying games, because aside from him, his team is 5,000 gold down.
Yeah.
Since his lead is what's keeping the game close. So they still don't have a real answer for this Wukong. But if he can sneak in Shock Blast like that, that's a start of contributing.
But I like that you highlight anytime you see this type of gold lead on a squishy carry, Jace is not a big health stacking champion. If you die, all that gold lead is gone for your team. He's got to land a lot of Shock Blasts to make it worth it right now. And so far, he is landing true. Call Me will get that tier 2 turret in the bot lane now. Pop Blossom Seos.
Bard is dead.
Used. They did get Lion. So one down. That's a pick here for Shopify Rebellion.
Yeah, Bard is dead.
That's actually huge. That's a long death timer, 25 seconds. So that's going to be a tier 2 turret in the top lane now and vision setup at the Baron.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the end of this play. Everyone's just going to kind of reset, start working towards this Dragon Soul. Did feel like Shopify was like one push away from making playoffs, and now the game is kind of wide again. TF Ultimate burned, though, couldn't find the right angle. Seeing Contracts was close enough. If you ever TF ult, then you're going to TF ult into a fight, and you see Contracts can get there, you don't take that TF.
Yeah,
not in
exactly.
This game.
Let's get another look at how Lions actually went down here. That was very fast.
I mean, he walks into a root, and then...
Yep.
There might have been like a meep in the bush or something? It's a nice kill. Easy. They're just cracking up, man.
Yeah. Sometimes they just give you one. As Lions has the dead man's plate, but that's not full tank. Like, as a support, you're just never going to be that tanky, regardless of what you build here. DSG were able to get back into the map, though, and actually get some vision down themselves around the Baron. So Shopify Rebellion on the reset cleared some camps. They have Fudge in the bot side, but they did not get all the wards down. And in fact, all the flanking wards have been cleared, except for a very deep one right there. Not expecting Fudge to go that deep.
The saving grace of this game for DSG is actually the fact that Sajed isn't behind.
Call Me stuck in a wall. Tangle Barb's used. Tempered Fade, but Contracts gets onto him. Call Me's down.
My God.
What a pick from Zinni, as DSG will not have their mid laner. Sajed's got to run all the way back. Pops the Ghost. Can net over the wall. But DSG now have a 4v5 at the Baron. Shopify Rebellion with that one pick can maybe just look to take this objective.
Zinni with some clutch plays. He had the Annie engages at the end of game 1, and some of these walls have just completely stuffed Call Me. Perfectly stuck in the wall there, as I think Call Me was trying to get... So I think what DSG is trying to do now with the pretty fed Caitlyn and the TFRC is just land a gold card into a trap and get some substantial poke on. Yeah. But you walk into wall range, you're dead.
You're going to go down. B-Boy very low here. Let's see if Surdy's able to land a clutch Shock Blast. This could be huge. Lands one on the Zinni. That's a big engage right there from Seos. Pop Blossom on only one, but it's Surdy. That's all the damage, but the Cyclone's not in range. Now Contracts gets onto him. Surdy down. Gold lead down for DSG. Lions flash the wall. Zinni's still alive. Wall goes up. Sajed gets over it. Flashes in. That's only the egg. Kryra's trying to stay alive as Call Me's rejoin the fight. Sajed's got to make a miracle happen, and he just can't find it. Only the one, as Shopify Rebellion will take a 1-for-4 trade.
Getting on to Surdy's Jace was so crucial. Contract almost couldn't make it in, but then everyone else could file through. That should be the Baron for Shopify. They're going to have to reset fairly quick after this, though, because the Ocean Drake will be up, and Call Me still looking to poke here.
I mean, if he lands that one gold card at max range with a rapid-fire cannon, maybe can kill somebody. Yeah, but it's so dangerous, and now you don't want to go down yourself. Fudge could look for it. 8 seconds for the unstoppable onslaught. Nope, Call Me's out of there, but Baron to Shopify.
Yeah, Seos actually used his Zhonya's mid-fight to a Caitlyn auto that was going to kill him. So knowing that that was down, I think that's what he was looking for. Contesting the Baron 4v5 without your TF is nearly impossible, so Surdy, bit of a suicide mission there. Seos found a nice flank at the beginning of the fight. And then one of the saving graces for DSG is the fact that Sejed is pretty fed, but he just can't get it done in this fight. See, right there, that auto would have killed Seos. Then he's split. Like, usually if you Zonius against a Caitlyn, you will get trapped again and then killed.
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Oh, there's no way.
And that's definitely how Cryer would feel.
Oh,
This is how you are feeling.
We're playing it too soon, guys. I'm not that confident at this point. I know
it's over.
Shopify's winning.
He thinks Shopify's going to playoffs. They have Baron. What could possibly go wrong? It's celebration time.
I mean, Baron at 2K gold lead, but never say never when it comes to Shopify Rebellion. Or I guess never say always. I feel like they always find some angle here.
Now you're
Contracts
nervous.
will get that third dragon.
You weren't nervous before, but now
I
you're
wasn't nervous before. Now I am. Now that they're at the precipice, now that they can actually make it happen. Oh,
Okay.
boy.
Calm your nerves. Contracts almost has 4 items. He is turbo smurfing this entire series.
Okay.
Surdy,
I like it.
even though he does have 4 items, he's Jace. And he's against a turbo-fed Wukong, as well as engage follow-up from the Nico Scion. Also, call me Soul Stealers at 0 stacks.
Another rock, paper, scissors situation going on here is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, yeah.
Fudge gets
Rock, paper,
chunked
scissors,
out.
Wukong.
Yep. Contracts just kind of lives above the rock, paper, scissors trifecta right there. As the bottom turret will now fall down. Contracts pushing mid lane solo currently. Call Me has the gold card, but just can't lock down the Wukong.
Yeah. Literally a 0 stack Soul Stealer. He's losing the Soul War terribly. He had it upgraded before the last fight.
Yeah?
Or did he?
I don't know.
Isn't even...
Unstoppable
All important
onslaught
thing is
from
0
Fudge.
stacks.
Let's see if this is able to land here. It doesn't find the angle. If anybody from DSG was too far forward, that would have gotten them, but
Would've
now
been
no Scion ultimate for this.
Yeah, Scion is not that tanky. He's only got 10,000 gold, but 300 more gold than his Nico. Not great.
Sejed is going to have to make a lot of damage happen here. Temper Fate will land on a 1, but Sejed can't get in range to get the trap down for the follow-up, so Shopify just back off. That almost looked fantastic from Lions. If it lands on a multiple members, then it gives space, but as of right now, they're going to have to find a different angle in. Call Me's looking from the side on the left here. 1 gold card to max range could be it as well, but currently Shopify Rebellion peppering down the inhibitor. They will take it. As the bottom inhibitor is also exposed, no turrets in mid or bot. They're going to turn their attention down there.
They just have to be so careful about the Anivia wall catching someone again, because if it just slows him down enough for Contracts to reach or Nico to flash engage, it could be the end of the game and would clinch Shopify a playoff spot. But this is where the last disaster happened for Shopify. Fudge is split. DSG might be going for something.
Certainly might just have enough damage for a Shock Blast kill out of Seos right there. Oh, just chunks out B-Boy instead. And that should herald the end of the push from Shopify Rebellion. They have Dragon coming up in 2 minutes 45, Baron in 2:30. A lot of time to look at either of those. That is some disgusting damage.
Yeah,
coming
it's
in
not
from Surdy.
all on to Scion anymore. The landing phase has been over for a while, so Surdy just doing his best. He's wearing the Castle jersey. He's cosplaying what Castle was going through on DSG. He's winning his lane. He's doing everything he can to try and win this game, but it's just so difficult.
I'd say Call Me as well, but unfortunately when you're playing the TF, you're just not going to be DPSing that much. Mejai's still 0 stacks on it for Call Me, unfortunately.
And look at all the armor they're stacking. They got armor item on B-Boy, armor item on Seos. Going to be a Frozen Heart Nico pretty soon. Probably a Frozen Heart or an Iceborne Gauntlet on the Ezreal.
Contracts also with the Guardian Angel. Has a lot of armor himself. Plus the Death Stance. Just armor on that item too.
What's a cooler name, Iceborne Gauntlet or Frozen Fist?
Iceborne Gauntlet, of course. But Frozen Fist is way funnier, so I prefer that one.
Yeah.
But if you're just saying cool.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Whoever made that decision 13 years ago is redeemed.
You know what, that was 13 years ago.
When they made Iceborne Gauntlet, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Well, I think for play-by-plays around the world, just to prevent us from saying something about fisting, I think it's probably for the better of all of us.
It is better.
I don't know if I would be able to stop myself, personally.
I mean, Shopify is looking to kill this third inhibitor. Call Me trying to get as much gold as he possibly can on the TF on the side.
Oh, B-Boy. Talk about confident plays. Takes 1 Shock Blast right there, but still getting some damage on a Kryra. Landing these Mystic shots one after another. Kryra's just got to back all the way off as B-Boy Arcane chips in again. TP in now from the TF. B-Boy has to flash away, but now the engage under the turret in on Sejed. The carry's down. Kryra, Sky falls in, only gets the clone as Zinni's still up as well. Kryra trying to get back to the safety of the fountain, has to flash. DSG a 4v5, but low health bars, and the Shock Blast gets the Anivia Egg, and the stun, the shutdown. That Seo's dead. Now Fudge trying to pry a lot of space here. Kryra stuck between a wall and a Scion into the Guardian Angel, and probably straight to the gray screen afterwards. Shopify Rebellion get another kill for that one, as they'll take the top inhibitor turret. Surdy's getting some more damage down onto Fudge, but B-Boy's going forward. That's flash out of Surdy. Lions actually takes the portal over the Anivia wall. B-Boy jumping in. DSG, I mean, they have some damage here, but they just can't get onto B-Boy. This Ezreal is just gliding on him. That gold card does land.
In 6 seconds. I don't think they're going to be able to end off of this. Fudge did such a good job blocking Shock Blast there as Surdy was trying to get fatal damage through. Remember, Zinni's no egg. Drake up in 4 seconds. This would be the Soul, which DSG I think is going to try and rush. Contract's ultimate is going to be up, though, so whoever walks close is in for some hurt.
Call me. I'm telling you, B-Boy flash from Call Me, Tempered Fate, chain onto B-Boy, but there's no follow-up damage. Contracts will use the Cyclone, so no ultimate available for the Wukong, but I imagine Shopify don't need it to secure this Dragon Soul.
Ocean Soul against a primarily poke team has got to make Revan and Demonte more calm than they were 1 minute ago.
Yep.
And you, Steve.
I feel like now they could run the double Red Bull.
They already have.
Crash.
So,
yeah, they did. Yeah, we don't need to see it again.
Luckily, we already have. Soul likely into just a Baron start with Seos hiding on the side in case any of the flashless carries. Literally 5 flashes are burned from DSG. This is an uncontestable Baron. If they ever look, Contracts will kill them. Okay, they agree. They agree it's uncontestable.
No shot of getting in there. Kryra's not even on the screen. That's going to be Dragon Soul. It's going to be Baron. It's going to be Shopify Rebellion with a 2,000 gold lead at 35.5 minutes here. And as long as they play this one calmly, should be able to walk it into the enemy Nexus. They even have supers helping them out in mid and top lane.
They really do. Baron, Soul, a very fed Contracts, a very fed B-Boy at this point as well.
Yep.
Primarily physical damage from everyone on DSG. Mostly poke damage as well. Shopify could do it. They could 2-0 Dignitas and then 2-0 DSG and walk their way into playoffs.
Hey, you only need to be better than 2 teams in an 8-team league, so they would prove just that here. They're pushing in the super minions. Baron Empowered Wave. Kryra will start it off, but the Temper Fate goes wide on all members. So no Bard ultimate here. Gold card from Call Me. He steps forward, but the turret falls. Can't find the auto. Kryra again goes on to Fudge, but his health bar is just not moving. Now Seos looking for the engage. Pop Blossom Sajid's out of there. Shopify Rebellion are making it happen. You can have your expectations. You can have your predictions. Shopify Rebellion don't care. 3-16. SR says we just kicked your ass. 2-0 over DSG.
Oh man, Shopify and Contracts show up on the day. Olaf, Wukong, I'd say one of the best series I've seen from a jungler this year.